Hey everyone, welcome to Lip Rippin' Podcast. I'm your host, Ravi N, aka Ravasaurus. Thanks so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. Good of you to join me, good of you to stop by as per usual. Thanks a lot. So here we are again on another ep, and I wanted to quickly chat with you all today about a fishing experience I had as a youngster. A little throwback for you today. Uh, I've been thinking about this a little bit recently. So when I was much younger, uh, I went to I went to Guyana with my parents, and my sister. Obviously, we went as a family, and we spent, I believe, like 6 weeks in Guyana and maybe like 2 weeks in Trinidad or something like that. Anywho, um, during the 6 weeks in Guyana, um, there was two instances where fishing was a situation. So the first instance is probably one of the coolest, now that I think about it in retrospect, one of the coolest situations I've ever seen in my life. So my uncle Neil used to live in Guyana like for tons and tons and tons of years. And in the mid 90s, he was still there. So uh, I guess my dad and him linked, and we're like, okay, we're gonna go fishing, blah blah blah, right? And I'm not 100% sure. I don't really remember if my sister was there or my mom was there. I can't 100% remember. But there was, my uncle Neil was there, my dad was there, I was there, and there was a guy with long hair, who was like an Amerindian dude. But like not like crazy, like interior native that currently live there. Not, I don't mean crazy, but like, you know what I'm saying. Like not one that, not a native or an Amerindian that was currently living in the wilderness. I don't think, because he came with us. He was just, I think he was like native to that area too. I guess he probably was taking us in, maybe, or maybe Uncle Neil knew the spot. I don't recall. So, but anyway, we went to this place, and it was pretty jungle like. You know what I mean? Like there were animals jumping from tree to tree. Like you could hear birds, exotic birds. It was freaking crazy. So we drive up to this place, and there's a bridge, kind of like the bridge that I talked about in that episode about Baldwin, Ontario, like a rickety ass bridge. And underneath it was water, right? So we pull over, everybody gets their gear out, whatever. I don't have gear. I'm like a little kid. I'm probably like 7 or so, or 8, something like that. So they get their gear out, and Uncle Neil, myself, and my dad start hiking down, like down the side of the bridge, like towards the riverbank. And the Amerindian guy stays on the top of the bridge, right? So um we show up to the riverbank, and I was like, holy shit, like, dad, like, what's wrong with this water, like, why is it like this, you know what I mean? Because I've been fishing up here in Canada, so I never seen water like this in my life. So it was, the water was blood red. Okay, so the river was like red, red, red. And if it wasn't red, it was like black. All right. Um, but when you scooped it up, it was clear. Trippiest thing ever. So the bottom of the river was laid with red clay. Um, Not late, like, okay. So, anyways, the bottom of the river is red clay, just like how the bottom of our rivers are mud or whatever they are. You know what I mean? Um, so when the sun hits it, it just looks like blood in the water, right? So crazy as shit. Anyway, my dad's like, yo, you gotta stay here on this riverbank. You know, there's piranhas in the water, there's caiman or whatever, right? I'm like, dude, I'm not staying on this riverbank. Are you nuts? You know? He's like, yo, like, you have to. So him and Uncle Neil, like, I think they had waders on, but probably not, yo. I think they were just like barefoot. So the water was like bit like neck high at the deepest, so they were wading in the water, chest high, and with their rods and tossing, trying to catch fish. Meanwhile, the Amerindians on the top of the bridge. So I'm on the riverbank. These two are walking into the abyss. Uncle Neil and my dad are basically walking into hell, as far as I'm concerned. One rounds one corner, the other rounds the other corner. They're off into the distance. Amerindian guy is at the top of the bridge. This guy jumps off the top of the bridge into the river. I was like, what the hell? What is going on in this place? A kid, you know? Meanwhile, I'm looking around the river, the shoreline, and there's mad little fish all around, you know? So I'm a kid, right? Like, I start trying to catch them, you know? I'm like, just entertaining myself. The Amerindian guy swims over, and I guess he's like my gatekeeper. Like, he's just staying there with me while, like, these guys continue to just fish, right? And, like, my dad came back, you know, several times. I think he might have caught one. I really, you know, although I do have the memory of an elephant, I don't 1000% remember this entire experience. But I know that that was really awesome and really cool. And one day, maybe for my 40th birthday or something, I would love to go to Guyana and fish. I don't even really necessarily care about like the interior per se, like, and what I mean by that, like, I mean like the jungle, the interior of the jungle. Um, but I do want to go there and like fish maybe the Demerara River or the Essequibo River. Would be really cool to fish. I know Darren's boyfriend Jeremy Wade, the river monster legend, has fished in Guyana, both of those rivers, and I believe he's fished for Arapaima up in the interior as well. But let me tell you guys something about Jeremy Wade. Jeremy has nothing, all right, nothing on a fella by the name of Yakub, all right. Yakub is the best fisherman to have ever walked planet Earth. And I don't care if Wade continues to try to catch river monsters and all these mythical fish. He can draw all the fish he wants in his little notebook, while Yakub is out there catching record after record after record all over the world. Let me tell you another little known fact about Mr. Yakub. Yakub was hired by National Geographic. I believe he had a show called like Fish Warrior or something crazy. Yakub is a world-renowned cellist. All right, he was part of the Croatian and Russian symphony. All right, this guy gave up playing the cello professionally in a symphony orchestra. All right, to go hunt fish, big fish. And this man has claimed records. And let me tell you something, if you guys haven't already Googled Yakub, you'll be surprised when you see this skinny, maybe 120 pound dude, 125 pound dude, blonde hair. All right, when you see this guy, you'll be surprised. But I'll tell you something, Yakub is a man of legends. Yakub, I believe, has the world record for flathead catfish. I think he has a world record for the largest catfish caught in the Amazon. I believe he has a world record for the largest arapaima ever caught in the Amazon. Alright. I believe he has a world record for the largest Nile River perch ever caught out of the Nile River. in Africa. What's up? What's up, guys? Go figure out who Yakub is. Don't worry about these Bobby Zumi and all these kind of guys all over the place. Go go figure out who Yakub is. And all you Jeremy Wade lovers, right? Why don't you go find a river monster somewhere else? Why don't you go find a river monster of your own, alright? Before you put this guy on a pedestal. Listen, I got nothing against Jeremy Wade, but Yakub's the truth. All right, folks. That's all I've got to say today. I don't even remember what this episode was about. Oh, yeah. River fishing in Guyana. Wow, what a place, man. I would love to go back as an adult and see what's up fishing wise. I bring down a reel. I'll buy a rod down there. Bring some braided line. Rip it up. I remember when Uncle Neil would come up here and he'd be like, "Yo, spool me up some braid." I would spool him up some braid and on his reels and send him back a Guyana with some braided line for those fish. Wow, that actually came to memory now. Actually, I forgot all about that, but I used to do that for him. Well, when I was much older, I used to do that for him when he would come visit the cottage and stuff. Anyways, good of you guys to join me as per usual. Thanks so much for your time, your patience, your interest. And I hope that we can keep lip ripping for a while, because I don't know if you guys recall, but the original challenge of this whole podcast was to try to do 52 in a row. Try to do a whole year of podcasts in a row. And I think we're at episode 39 here, maybe even 40. And so if that's the case, we're really close. We're only 12 eps out from the desired target. And so that being said, I want to keep the party going. I realize I have quite a few stories to continue to tell you. I didn't even get to tell you part 2 about Guyana, but it's not even worth it, because it's not nearly as interesting as the bloody waters of potentially the interior of Guyana. Anyways, join me for another boat ride and another bush trek sometime soon. I appreciate your guys' time as always. Thanks so much. Have a good one. Bye now.